Yeah, this is Point Black coming in hard. Many try to stop the Point Black in many ways, but you just can't. You know what I'm saying? This is the heat from the streets. This is a flow coming from the barrio and coming with them facts to crack their back. And we bringing that heat, like I said, from the motherfucking street. No, we do. You know what I'm saying? This is PBNN, Point Black, National News. You know what I'm saying? The late edition, coming in hard. Now, today we have to speak about some things again, making sure we're keeping up to par. Um, I see where YouTube has done their thing and taken down a couple of my joints speaking about vaccines. And I'm talking about I contradict them and all this, but the information came from them and their scientists. So I don't know what it is they're talking about. But that's YouTube done the things they do, especially with Susan. Anyway, Susan. Anyway, today we have a 1.7% without adding in the children as to the shortening of general food, regular food for people that people would need. This was done solely coming from the Como administration locking stuff down when they should have had it open. And they caused this type of ripple in the water. But by now, Como should make sure that all businesses are rebounding back on their feet. You know what I'm saying? And stop playing around because it's a failed policy that caused a lot of this damage to the common people in more ways than one. And that's what we have to understand. Como should have opened up, the nursing homes by now where people can see their loved ones and give support to the older people. I don't understand why he's still having the nursing homes and barring the people out. This is a very suspicious action and I don't like it. Como should have opened the nursing homes so that the loved ones could visit them. This should have happened already. Now I can't believe good healthy people is still getting vaccines. But the best healer is yourself. Always remember that. It's yourself. Just thinking about vaccines is not the answer. You know what I'm saying? It is not the answer because we cannot just chase vaccines. You see what I'm saying? And that's the way it is. And we need to understand that. You know, I see billions of dollars, billions of dollars. Everyone's starting to get vaccinated, and billions of dollars are flowing. But but where there's a good, there can be a bad. So we have to watch ourselves in the long run. And what is troubling to me, what is very troubling is the concern of the Republicans and what's going on up there. Now I see Lee Zeldin call for an impeachment to Como. You know what I'm saying? Where Como is threatening to destroy concern. He's trying to 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 destroy people's career, accusing them, accusing people really, who I guess in administration, whoever he wants to accuse of lying. But the people would really have no reason to lie because the evidence is on the table. That's what Como have to understand. The question is, why would Como hide the nursing home's death? It's not just enough to say it was just a case of mishandling of, you know, the pandemic. There's more to the story to me than meets the eye. And we got to understand that. The only reason, one of the only reason Como would do that is a remergent later of the numbers, the number count of the fake to make it a real, as if now we see. Of the bodies that we see, of the bodies, you know what I'm saying, that he spoke about, that put that were put into trailers and different stuff like that, you know, Como is very bold about that. And it doesn't seem like he really sorry about a lot of things. A lot of people say his approval rating is going here and going there, but a lot of people need to do more investigation because it's time for us to have a new governor in the Republic in New York. You know what I'm saying? That's going to protect us. I agree on some of the things being stripped from the governor based on shutting down cities like that, and they got to cut that out. Como is very bold as to his power. As to his power is why we need a change in governmentship. You know what I'm saying? You know, when a governor will say something like, you know, he'll say something like this: "Who cares where they died?" Now that is so unpatriotic, if you ask me. You had 15,000 at the start. Yeah, 15,000 at the start, and then it came up, or it came with a 12,700. You know, we know it could even be higher than that if it's real. Now the CDC is giving warning about allergic reactions. Okay, it's about time. We're beginning to see more of understanding of these actions. That's all I was asking. You know what I mean? I don't know what you two be thinking because a lot of the information is your information. I'm just analyzing as I go along. You need to stop taking my videos down. It's just a difference of opinion. There's a lot of people here come up with way more powerful opinions that go way deeper than mine, but you're steady picking on mine. I guess everybody's hating in this area and calling you. You know what I'm saying? Now we see Chris Cuomo, his show on, I guess, whatever news channel we was on, has been canceled. I think, yeah, it's CNN. You know what I mean? We know what that was about. ramping the funk. You know what I'm saying? Before his bull blew wide open. You know? So we have to look at that. See Bob for the Big Bang. See Bob for the Big Bang. You know what I'm saying? We already know what was up with Como's brother anyway. So that really didn't make much sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Now we see Fauci saying, you know, jumping subject. Now we see Fauci saying the loss of ability to influence, you know, keywords and ability. The key word in the whole thing is the ability to influence Trump after Trump decided to focus, you know, on his election instead of the virus. You know what I'm saying? Fauci is a fraud if you ask me. I really don't care for him much in that position. If you ask me, him and Bill Gates, you know what I'm saying, love to use confusion and a whole lot of trickery. You know what I mean? Like he said, he had early success, you know, steering us right into a vaccine program, steering the COVID virus reactions. You know what I'm saying? Fauci said he had, you know, some influence. Yeah, because Fauci was lying. If that's the case, why would the why would Fauci say you have to influence somebody if it's a matter of a whole real pandemic going down? There should be nothing you should have to influence. Then it says something somewhere that something was not either real or something was made up to be real. You know what I mean? You can only get two things out of that, you know, when you really look at it. You know, to me, the case is why you can't, that case, because to me, Fauci was lying. If the case, why they can't prove where the scheme began if you have to influence someone. So if he has to do that, then what was the case in the very beginning? That's what I'm asking. But we know it started with Fauci pushing the issue of this great virus. Just like Como, there's something wrong here, and we need to fix it. Just, just, uh, just chasing vaccines is not the only way. You know what I'm saying? It won't just solve it wouldn't just solve this arguing, and it won't solve this, whether anybody likes it or not. Groundbreaking facts is the point, and black. You know what I'm saying? Fauci said Trump acted like there was no outbreak. Yeah, because there probably was none. But there was a made up one, though. And the proof, look at Como. That's your proof. You know what I'm saying? That's your proof. Look at Como. You know? Look at what was going on with him. Now, this happened. This happened. My question would be, did this happen anywhere else? You know what I'm saying? In sync and right on time. In the same order. In nursing homes, in all Democratic states, or just in New York. We need a true and good independent investigation. You know what I'm saying? No mess ups. Clarity is everything. Peter Stanley, a political activist, saying the breakdown came when Trump said, you know what I mean, when Trump sided with the anti lockdown protesters. You know what I'm saying? But why would you say that? Is what I don't understand. Because if this was more serious than you're saying it is, and it was, or made up of Fauci or whoever brought it to Trump, you know what I'm saying? It would have been more clarity, and Trump would have definitely do something knowing full well that this is that. He would not have left the country open to none of that. So something is not perfectly right. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why you're accusing Trump of siding with anti-lockdown protesters. Now, wasn't Kamala bailing out protesters in the in the MNN Freedom Fund from Minnesota? So I don't understand what you know that caused a lot of bull. If you ask me, while you stay home, you know, while we stay home, the order came down by the governor. Something don't make sense there. Something didn't make sense there. You know what I mean? According to Lindsey Graham, you know, according to Lindsey Graham, Kamala was bailing out protesters. And like Lindsey Graham said, if the GOP takes over the House, then there's a likely chance that that might come up on Kamala. So we have to pay attention to that. You know, now we're looking at 130,000 reported deaths. Once they got the ball rolling and the people ran rather than stand, and you know what we was supposed to do, we were supposed to stand. You know what I'm saying? Because what is going to happen if we don't make a stand based on getting this whole strands and all these different new strains have to go, because if COVID-19 goes into an endemic, that means now we're going to be faced with a whole lot of viruses and this and all kinds of things going to come up. We got to get rid of this thing altogether. There's no way it should go on this long. It's very weird, but there's no clarity on the origin of travel. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't make sense. Trump said it's going to go away magically. He made a statement, and they jumped all over Trump for that, saying it would go away magically. Magically it'll go away. It's going to magically go away, is what Trump said. You know, yeah, because magically it came in with Fauci from one out. You know, Fauci said that the U.S. failed to look at this thing. He says it's like a he's saying that the U.S. failure was like a skunk that came to the picnic. Yeah, because nigga, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Fauci was the one that skunked up the party, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Now we know the White House officials, you know, pressed, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. he pressed he pressed Fauci from really making any statements or even contradicting Trump. Yeah, because he was fully out of control, if you ask me, at that point, because he couldn't get his point across. Because nobody knew about it but him and Como. So I mean, something just don't add up, if you ask me. You know what I mean? But steadily, you know what I'm saying, he was out of control, steadily contradicting Trump on every matter. At one point, Fauci was barred from giving television interviews, even barred him from the White House briefing and testifying before Congress. So something don't make sense there, and that's what I'm saying. People need to start to do more investigation into your political realm, because in your political realm, things happen. Us just playing around out here thinking that everything they say is 100% is not so. You know what I'm saying? Not every policy is going to agree with the American people. Fauci was out of control, if you ask me. Why is what is the question? You know what I'm saying? To me, is everyone else, while he was out of control, the question is, everyone else seemed to have been calm in a pandemic. Something didn't make sense there. He out of control, but nobody else is. Now we have to keep timing in the mind here. Mm-hmm. The House panel was set to investigate the government's response to the coronavirus crisis. 667,000 Americans died, with the number set to rise. Now, barred was all the members of the coronavirus task force. Fauci is not right for that position, if you ask me anymore. He has been there too long. Now we know the Go Gates is here. You see what I'm saying? So fooling me off ain't gonna do no good, and people need to wake up to as to what's going on. People want to cause a lot of havoc based on things, but we've got to get better than that, because it's not right. Fauci is not right for that job anymore. At one point, people was tired. This is what Trump was saying. At one point, people were tired of that fool he called Fauci. For real. But Trump said it, Fauci and all those idiots. That's what he said. He said people are tired of the fool and all those idiots. And he was right. In my book, he was right. And he was talking about, I guess, the Democrats, Fauci, Bill Gates, and the Democrats and the rest of these people, because none of this stuff, I believe, was ever really pronounced based on a true pandemic, because Trump would have known about it. Why would you hide that, Cuomo, Fauci, and whoever, all the Democrats, hide something like that in the nursing homes till it came down, slam, bam, thank you, man. Something ain't right. But that's on them. You know what I mean? And people need to start to look at these things. At one point, like I said, Trump called him an idiot. You know what I'm saying? And he was right in my book, saying saying he loved, now Fauci is saying he loved Biden. Yeah, because Biden was a part of the plan. If you ask me, cheaters. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? Fauci talking about, he's talking we could be wearing the mask to 2022. Yeah, I bet he won't be wearing the mask until 2022. Probably only fools because that's not even good for your health. How long? Now, when YouTube take my videos down, here's a question I got to ask. You know what? I'm going to save that. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it seems like the elites think they have the right to tell us how many people should be on this planet also. And we need to look at that. Standing in front of that machine, Biden looked like some kind of crazy machine, like he thinks, the people don't see what it means. We see that machine, and if stupid people can't see what that machine really means, then they're out of their mind. Everyone blamed Trump, but Biden, they blame Trump, while Biden went down the same road. If Trump was for vaccines, because he was now coming on to grips with the issue, Biden didn't do anything different. He took most of Trump's stuff and adopted it in his speech and then signed 28 executive orders. So I don't understand none of that shit that people keep saying that it got better with Biden. It just took us down the same path. As a matter of fact, more died since Biden took office, but Trump was the big boogeyman. hmm People got to understand, whenever they create a boogeyman, it's based on the fact that they don't want you to go looking and investigating into it. Same as they did with Egypt, saying how Egypt was devil worshiping and all kinds of animal worship and all kinds of stupid stuff, but never explain Egypt in its fullness based on that's where you got even your Bible from. You know what I mean? So, sometimes people got to understand these things happen. Now Trump's the big boogeyman. Well, what did Biden, Mr. Loverman, what I'm saying? What did he really do? To me, all he did was double up the mass, more vaccines. You know what I mean? Still businesses hurting for more. You know what I'm saying? Businesses is hurting, more mutations, double down mass, and so on. Yeah, mass, testing, wild and free. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So I don't even know why YouTube jumps all over me for something like that. That's exactly what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Biden never had a plan other than what Trump had, if you ask me. But he is a part of the plan of the vaccine program. That was his program, Trump program at one point. You know what I'm saying? 1 million people being vaccinated first week in office. You know what I mean? There should be a massive there should be, to me, no real big, massive vaccine program at all. Because this is not explaining for a virus really in some forms. Because, you're going to have a lot of things happening, and I hope that it goes for the well. That remains as long as team with new variants come out, and that's going to happen. It remains as long as the term with new variants popping up every day. To me, it is coming from the vaccine, must be, because where would new variants just be popping up? You had a UK strain, an African strain, a this strain, a that strain. And then you slip, I don't know, they really is confusing themselves, saying, now they're saying there's a South African strain, you know what I'm saying, and before that it was a UK strain, you know what I'm saying, but no one knows where it's coming from. They were so sure about one now. So why you ain't going to South Africa tracing where it came from? You just keep telling us strains popping up. So now as we go into an endemic with COVID-19, now we stuck with virus. And it gonna go on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? But you were so sure that it came from that laboratory in China. But now, but you know what I'm saying? You were so sure it came from a now in China, but not sure. Something didn't make sense there. Flim flamming. They need to do more tracing in South Africa and the UK if we gonna quail this thing in the bud. And that has to happen. And they're not doing that. Now I've got to speak on time ago when Brother Malcolm, switching subjects, was gunned down in Harlem, New York. This is something I will never forget. One of the reasons why is my parents actually was in the same ballroom where he was assassinated and had a party there. My mother and my father was there and his brother hosted a party in that ballroom. My mother was actually a follower of Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? Something I will never forget. And I'll never forget who was responsible for the murder of Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? But I see now we getting reports coming in, breaking news, so PBNN Point Black National News, the late edition. Malcolm Goddesses, his daughters, is working hard and have been, you know, bringing forth new evidence on this matter. Good. It's time. Time for Malcolm's justice. A man that stood his ground on the front line for the rights of his people, no matter what. Malcolm is something that we need to really bring up and we need to really, let's all, as a matter of fact, get involved to help these sisters out to bring this crime to the forefront. Because no matter what religion you choose, or what religion Malcolm choose, or Martin choose, or any civil rights leader that choose to be a civil rights leader for his people, should not have caused him to get killed or murdered. That was wrong. So let's get involved to bring forth the truth. You know what I'm saying? Bring forth the truth and the right and full justice for Malcolm X. Point Black. And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Now the mark of 500,000, almost half a million people in the U.S. have have died from the COVID-19. They're counting it 500,000 COVID-19 deaths. Could have been to me avoided, if you ask me. Who's responsible? Anthony Fauci. And I'm going to leave Bill Go Gates and the deep state as a whole. You know what I'm saying? We need to stand and demand a full investigation into COVID-19 as a whole. You know what I mean? And stop playing around. That's a fact. You know what I mean? The demon Democrats have not solved anything at all. Biden have hijacked Trump's plan as their own. Like I said before, the increase in vaccines is the cause of the new virus. Biden, to me, have made it worse. While the stock market is flying sometimes on the vaccine stock to the roof. You know what I mean? Como talking about top black doctors saying that vaccines is good, take the vaccine. But Como, those doctors are not, our parents. Good, healthy people, what would they need with the vaccine if you don't have no symptoms or sick? You know what I'm saying? We don't need it. You know? Como have to understand a thing called freedom of choice. I don't see why you're trying to take that away, if you ask me. Just testing, you know, it's just testing, and it's not going to go away. They need to really just slow down on the vaccines, and we'll it to me it will go away. But if you keep on doing that, how is we going to know where anything is coming from or what to do? You can't just do that, because then when the next one comes, then we're going to have another vaccine and another. It just doesn't make sense. Somewhere along the line, they have to come up with a better comprehensive plan other than that. And whose life, if I get a vaccination, whose life am I saving? Because I'm in good, healthy condition. I'm not spreading anything. I'm not asymptomatic at all. And they should stop saying that, or asymptomatic. You know, get rid of that saying, because it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Whose life am I saving if I got the shot?